Welcome to the Reloading Podcast here on the Firearms Radio Network. Tonight, we're talking about cold clean bore. What is it? Why do we care? And how does it affect our loading? And reloading and hand loading for that matter. But first, I didn't say presented by Primary Arms, did I?
Nope.
No. Fail. Hello, welcome to the Reloading Podcast here on the Firearms Radio Network, presented by Primary Arms. Silly me. I forgot the more important thing. Tonight we're going to be talking about CCBE, or cold clean bore, or clean cold bore, however you want to say it.
Or like Jim likes to refer to as his time in the Navy.
Wow, Travis, you're the only one who thought that was funny.
Sorry. Coming in hot.
That was a bomb.
Anyway. Dud. That was a freaking dud.
See, if you wouldn't have bought Extra IntelliDropper, you could have paid somebody to write jokes for you. See? Anyway. So, I got to bail for a bit for a 4-H meeting, but what I want to talk about is what I did in shooting and reloading and all that fun stuff. So, I've been playing with this. And this, for those of you who can't see, because you're listening to this, is the Mantis Laser Academy training kit. This uses targets and a laser. So either like if you've got one of the laser trainers like I have, or they actually send the little laser inserts. I have too much crap. So it's actually, I got the bigger kit, but this is their mobile kit, which is kind of a fun little thing. So it comes with tripod, camera holder, squib remover, the squib, or in this case, the laser. And then it comes with small targets and then putty to hold it onto the wall. So this is the easy kit. This is the portable kit. It's kind of nice. The fancier kit comes with this, plus a really nice tripod with a remote, some sweet two-piece target stands. So it's got the flat disc, and then it's got the little part that screws in with a little split ring on it, so you can put the targets. And then it comes with bigger targets. And so how this system works is you download the app to your smartphone. Yes, you have to have a smartphone for it. But what you do is you download the app to the smartphone, and then it uses the camera on the smartphone to record the laser shots onto the target, and then it keeps score and everything else. So just like the Mantis, the other trainers like the X3, the X10, it has an app. And
Dumb question, Mike.
okay.
Does this thing launch any sort of projectile?
Nope.
Does it perforate a paper in any way whatsoever?
Nope.
Just light.
Yep.
Laser
Literally
light.
a laser. So like this here is the target. And so as you can see, it shows you a picture of your target up here with all the shots, and then it records all your shots and shows splits and stuff. And there is a bunch of different trainings you can do. So it's got the tutorial, which is amazing, and then you can just do open shooting. You can do bullseye 5-shot, 10-shot. You can duel. So if you have two people with lasers, multiple shots on multiple targets, shot from guard low ready, shot from holster draw, that all sorts of stuff. And the nice thing about this is you can actually tweak how the laser is compared to the sights. So say you look down your sights and your sight picture is hitting the bullseye, but the laser's hitting down at like, say, like an inch down and an inch over. You can actually adjust that to put the laser where you're seeing the sights. So that's a good thing and a bad thing, because if you have piss poor sight alignment, so then it's going to make that thing. Yeah, the kit that I'm showing is $150. Full disclosure, Mantis sent it to me to try out and play with. So I am going to, I did shoot some video for it with my GoPro, but I didn't really like the video I had with it. So I am going to redo that. So, Andy, the using a laser thing does not matter if it's a cold clean bore or if it's a dirtied or sullied bore. Unless it's really, really bad, then it would. So, especially, yeah, like Elk Blood just said, that's not a bad price considering 3 boxes of 9mm range ammo. I know, Andy, it was a joke. I couldn't resist answering it. So, Travis brought out his brass sorter to say hi. LBJ said. So yeah, Elk Blood said not bad, considering 3 boxes of 9mm range ammo would run you that. Well, not quite that bad. I mean, we've got the herder stuff back in at Cabela's for $15 for 50, but still. Oh, at our store, I don't know if anybody else, but we've got a 1,000-round bulk pack for $379. So at our Cabela's, we got some of those in. So that was kind of funny. There was a kid that came in. He said driving through Iowa, and he says he bought 1,000 rounds of 9, and then he saw ours, and he goes, "Yeah, mine wasn't that good of a price." But we figure 18 months ago, $379 for 1,000 rounds of 9 wasn't a good price either. So, I mean, it's starting to go back down as far as the prices go, but I don't have to leave my house to do this. I can do this while I'm editing or playing around. So, I mean, that's kind of the nice thing there. It tracks it. It scores it. You can have other people in your groups that can see your scores and stuff too, so you can challenge people. That's kind of a cool thing. So, I mean, just amazing on how well it works and how easy it was to set up. I mean, literally from a sealed box to running was 5 minutes, and that was following the tutorial. So,
you followed the directions?
Yes, I did.
Wow, they're taking your man card away.
No, when you're doing it for product testing, you're allowed to follow the instructions. So there.
I don't know. I like Travis's video the other day. That one was good.
I have not seen it.
You haven't seen it?
No.
Oh, okay.
I haven't had time. I'm hopefully going to get a chance to watch it later this week. So
CMMG with the 22 conversion.
Nice. What'd you pay for it, Travis?
Well, I've had it for a while. I think they're about $200, but
They're
the
$229 right now.
well, the cool part is that, but it also has the Franklin Armory binary trigger in it.
Oh, so you're going through ammo ridiculously fast. So
I don't know. His little one. Is that your little one there, Travis?
Yes. Well, I was told he's mine.
No paternity test to make sure. All right, guys, I got to bail for that meeting, so I'll join back
Okay.
when I can.
Cold bore shots. How do we compensate for them, guys? Jim, how do we compensate for a clean cold bore shot? You got to unmute yourself, Jim.
Yeah, it helps if I unmute myself.
Right.
Excuse me. Anyway, for the CCB, the only way I know to deal with it is you have to actually shoot from a clean cold bore. Wait a while, clean your bore. Wait a while, try it again. Wait a while, maybe half hour, 20 minutes. Try it again. See where your group is going to impact, as opposed to shooting from a warm bore, fouled bore.
Okay.
Yeah, so Paul, I'm guessing we can go down two routes here. We can go like we've done a couple times already. We got, say, F class shooters or something like that, shooting off a bench, or a guy out hunting. More than likely, the guy out hunting, he's going to want to sight in his rifle on a clean cold bore.
Yep.
Because it doesn't do any good to set your rifle up and sight it in on a warm barrel if you're only going to rely on that first shot to take down your game.
Okay. Does anybody remember what DOPE stands for?
Data on previous engagements.
There we go. So, as I would do is I would put my target up at, say, 100 yards. I would, with a clean cold bore, I would shoot one round and then measure and mark it from my aim point and put it in my data book. And I would build up my data so I could see by the temperature, by the weather conditions, the humidity, and everything to see what affects my shot on a clean cold bore would be. So my data tells me that say I can look up in my book and say, okay, every time that I've done this, that my book tells me that a half inch off to the left and an inch and a half down.
We've got a good comment from Idaho Rogers, USMC, one of Travis's buddies. He says it's not that difficult if you know your rifle's subtensions. In other words, know your rifle's habits. It's pretty easy to adjust for.
Okay. That's why I have a data book, though, too, right?
That's right. I'm just
Because
enjoying Travis getting abused. Anyway, yeah, you're right, Paul. That's what the data book's for. That's what the dope book is for.
Right, because I got more than one. If I only had one rifle, wouldn't matter. It's pretty easy then. But I got more than one rifle. Okay.
I would think you would need to have a data book for each rifle.
I do.
In fact, it probably wouldn't hurt to make sure you might even consider a data book for each load that you run through that rifle.
One data book for each rifle, and then I can thumb through the loads as far as looking at the different pages that I have in there. It's to me that's the way to keep track of it. Old school. And
Nothing wrong with old school. Hard copy always we'll never forget. Just gets lost once in a while.
and the other thing that my data book, dope book has, it tells me how many rounds I put down that barrel. It tells me, also that if the load that I have is starting to open up. So there's a lot of information that's going into that dope book. So Nick, Ray, what do you do?
I'm kind of like what Idaho Rogers said. If I know what my cold bore shot is, and I know what my grouping is when I'm warm, I just adjust. But there again, I myself, we're not big hunters. I don't really have unless I'm in a match, I don't really have to worry about a cold bore shot that often.
Okay.
But I do know from what my cold bore is to where they hit when the barrel's warm or broke or hot, I should say. I know how much to adjust.
In a hunting rifle, do you clean after you go to the range before you go hunting?
Yes.
Yeah, like when we hunted with shotguns, we would clean after we sighted them in.
Shotgun's not
Okay.
really.
But yeah, shotgun, you really don't have much of a.
Ever hunt with a rifle?
No, not in Illinois.
I know not in Illinois, but there's
Yes.
you're close to the MO side of the land over there
Yeah.
that allows it, and just wondered,
No.
Jim, do you
Sir.
clean? Do you clean after you sight it in, or do you leave it dirty?
Generally speaking, I leave it dirty.
Okay.
In today's day and age, with the non-corrosive powder and primers we're using, it really the only thing I do once in a while is I'll run a brush with some solvent through it, not nylon brush with some solvent through it, just to clean out the grit.
Get a little of the carbon out.
Yep, that's about all.
Okay.
Clean the chamber maybe because it contains the brass, obviously. But I mean, there's no point in not cleaning it. Doesn't hurt anything, is what I guess I should be saying. But anyway, as far as the board itself goes, generally speaking, once in a while I'll run a wet nylon brush through it, wetted with solvent, of course.
I'm along the lines of when I'm hunting with a rifle, I sight my gun in, I leave it, I don't clean it, I just let it go. And other than snowstorms and rainstorms, I don't worry about it too much. Of course, a little bit of black electrician's tape over the muzzle helps a lot to keep foreign objects out. But yeah, there is a little bit of rust at that end though too. Take it in from the cold days and then bring it inside, and it just seems to attract all the moisture in the room. What at my place in Missouri, I would just sit and I could leave the rifle outside and not worry about anybody taking it. So it wasn't so bad there. But up when I hunted Wisconsin, we brought them in, and yeah, it would you could get a little moisture condensation on the inside of the bore. But a little electrician's tape over the muzzle end goes a long way to keeping snow and rain and everything else out.
Well, the nice thing about electrician's tape is if you forget and leave it in place, all you're going to do is punch a hole through your tape.
Yeah, it leaves really quickly. It doesn't. it isn't an obstruction. So.
Well, I should have said that I'm not a hunter at all. I just love to shoot. Last time I shot a whitetail is probably in the early 80s.
Okay. Spudman 76. Boar snake when I'm done shooting. Okay. How many people use a boar snake? Okay.
They work well.
No. You clean them?
Occasionally.
Mhm.
Have to run through the wash machine. The wife doesn't like it when my clothes start smelling like number 9.
Uh-huh.
I don't mind.
Um,
They're aromatic solvent.
what
Yeah,
What's-
Paul's trying to get to the point that it picks up carbon, it picks up all this junk in there, and
That's
you're
right.
right. You're right, Paul. Uh, but nothing, I guess.
Well, the point, Travis, you're absolutely right. I agree that he picks it up, but if you don't clean your boar snake once in a while, like once a year, you are going to be just grinding grit right down the walls of your boar.
But yeah, that's honestly that's what I use when I'm done shooting a competition. Pistol and rifle and shotgun. I just run a bore snake through them, 2-3 times, and then I put them away.
Okay.
When they need it, I just throw them away and buy new ones.
I
But
agree.
Paul,
Yeah.
after the last show,
Yeah.
I did throw the AR up here on the vise, and I did clean the bore of my AR. I gotta admit,
Okay. Good. Good. And how did it shoot?
I haven't. It's
You
been
haven't taken
snowing
it out
here.
yet. Oh,
Nope.
that's right. You guys got a little dusting up there. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna go Sunday and check her all back out, but yeah, it was. I'm a fair weathered shooter, but why I wanted to switch gears just for a moment. Nick, what did I see off to your right there? I think after one of our episodes, you also went out and did something.
I ended up picking up a Frank Russell Untitled Chapter as well.
Nice. Is it even been opened?
Oh yeah, it's been opened. I had to make sure everything was in there. But
So is that just the box and you actually have it set up?
no, it's in the box. The bench is still being built right now, so it'll hopefully next week it'll be up on the bench ready to go. So the bench is
Yeah.
pretty much built. I just gotta build a couple more things, paint it, get it bolted to the ground and wall, and we'll be up and running.
Nice.
Yeah, he's getting there. It's a nice looking bench. It's got a white melamine top on it, and 2x6 construction, 4x4 legs. Not bad.
As we were saying, it won't go anywhere. It's going with the house if I sell the house.
Yeah. He's gonna bolt it to the floor and the wall. Okay.
Yeah, it won't go anywhere. I can't even move it. I put a level on top. The bubble doesn't even move. It's so solid. It's not going anywhere. So
Now all we gotta do is get you a piece of granite for your IntelliDropper.
well, I'm gonna build a weighted box.
Yeah, I was thinking about building a box and putting like a solid stone concrete block in it.
If you go to Amazon, look for a Class A granite. Okay.
What would be wrong with using a concrete block, like a solid block, Ray? You know, like a 2-inch
Level.
thick.
Level.
Okay, you could adjust the box to be level.
Yeah, I'm just going to use the stone for the weight.
Right.
And actually build the box level.
Paul, what
Okay.
did you say? Grade what?
Grade A.
Granite.
Granite.
It's like what they use for comparing dial indicators and stuff to a standard.
You should be able to find them for about $128.
Yeah, it looks like they got all kinds of thicknesses.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm just whoa. Here's a nice piece, 36 by 48 by 6 inches thick.
Holy shit, Travis! You won't be picking that up.
Oh, it's only $3,000.
There you go.
Yeah, because I also after last episode, picked me up another one. I actually picked up two more. And I gave one to my friend, and I kept one of this one. Has not been opened yet. And I figure I got a new computer coming next week. I'm gonna do when I get that. I'm gonna do an unboxing video and a setup to go along with our podcast that we talked about the Frankfurt Arsenal.
Yeah, I see that block. My thinking was if I had a weighted box and you put the IntelliDropper on that, when you're dumping the powder out of it, you could almost take a empty 1 pound powder can and put it there and just dump right into that can. You wouldn't even have to move the scale.
Yeah, I think Paul's main thing, correct me if I'm wrong, Paul, is should be pretty much perfectly level,
Right.
smooth. It's got a little bit of weight to it. And that's kind of the main thing is it's nice and square. Be nice to level your scale on.
Yeah. I mean, you could use a piece of glass. I mean, that's
Well, the weight is the big deal because
Yeah.
it reduces vibration. The more it weighs, the less the vibration. A 12 by 18 by 3-inch thick plate weighs 90 pounds. So you're going to sit down and
that's pretty heavy.
you ain't getting that out of a piece of concrete.
All right.
And you can also do other things with it as far as checking your your instruments and everything else. So
Yeah, that's what we do at work. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do some research this week, and so
yeah, I mean, even a Class B that they're sitting there going is $100, okay, and that's to accurate to 10,000s, 3 10,000s.
Ray and Nick, I just found on Amazon a grade A granite 9 by 12 by 2, only $50.
yeah, I
But
saw
it is
that.
grade B. It is not grade A.
Yeah,
Before you're using it for, grade B should be just fine, like Paul said.
yeah,
It doesn't. I don't see where it gives me the weight, but chunk of rock like that, that's pretty good. That's a pretty good deal.
mm-hmm.
So
Also, since we're talking about what we got this week, I also picked some of this stuff up this week. It's out of Australia. It's ADI world class match ammo using a
There we go.
using
Okay,
a-
that's
go ahead.
one
Jim.
more time. Thank you.
So it's something called ADI world class. It's out of Australia. Using a 69 grain Sierra Match King hollow point bow tail. It's got some weird packaging. Looks like kind of like a drug dealer or something made it.
Individually wrapped.
How would
That
you
is-
know, Nick?
I don't watch enough TV anymore.
That is good packaging because the way it keeps the bullet tips from being damaged,
Mm-hmm.
and it keeps the bullets from moving in the packaging.
Yeah, it's annealed brass, everything. So
Mm-hmm.
I picked these for a box of 20 under $10, or right around $10. So I'm gonna give it a try. Probably run through my chronograph, see how well it works. And
Is that 223 or 556?
223. So I asked on the Discord channel. We have a couple guys that are from down under, and a couple of them said it's pretty good stuff. Good solid cases. The only thing when you got to check case capacity. So I'm wondering if it's something maybe like a MagTech. They have that little shoulder inside their 9mm cases. I don't know what's something going on with it.
It's a little heavier brass.
And that's kind of when I read that was another thing I was thinking. Maybe it's heavier brass, thicker wall.
But just so you know that Lapua is the same way. Okay, so don't think that you're getting anything, that it's anything out of the ordinary. Lapua brass is usually heavier than the other manufacturers of brass. when we could
Question.
get it. Yeah, go ahead.
Question is are the primers crimped, Nick?
Yes. From what I can
That's-
tell through the packaging, yes.
Oh, you should see an extra little ring within a few thousandths of the diameter of the pocket.
Yeah, they're crimped.
Okay,
Yeah.
So
that's good info to know. It sounds like you're trying to make it as near GI brass as like Lake City match as they
Yeah.
can.
I think it's to their military specs, or so it could be something like their what's our 69 grain.
When you say you think, do you mean it's your personal opinion, or have you seen information indicating that?
That's my personal opinion. Just kind of
Okay.
Reese, I've seen there's one guy that has test shot or done a video on it. Huffman Range or whatever. I can't remember the name of his channel. He had some good. I was watching some velocity testing out of an 18-inch or 18-inch. I think 18-inch average standard deviation was 30, which isn't bad for military grade ammo. So we'll give it.
How much ST?
I think like 30 or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it was off the top of my head.
That's not bad, but it's
No, not great by any means, but
yeah, you're right. It's not bad.
I wanted to show Travis this, but he's off the screen at the moment. I showed you guys these last week. So
yeah, the ES is what is the big kicker on that.
Yeah.
Okay, if you have some wild swings, one or two wild swings can give you an ES of an SD of 30, but you're it just one or two shots can really throw the SD off.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I pulled up his video. Out of a 16-inch barrel, standard deviation of 30, extreme spread 75. When you bump up to a 20-inch barrel, it's down to an 18-inch or 18 FPS standard deviation, 57 extreme spread. So that's where it looks like it's a sweet spot.
What's odd when he goes up to a 22, it goes the other direction.
It goes back to the other direction. That is weird.
So it's designed for a 20-inch barrel.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
That's really bad when you get down to 10.5 inch.
Well, that's normal.
Yeah,
that's normal. I mean, you're not burning the powder.
Yeah.
In something like that.
I wonder if it's. Well, he didn't try an 18-inch.
Well, it'd be in between 16 and 20.
True.
I used to reload for a 223 in a 14-inch Harriet, Thompson Center, and until I got to the really fast powders, it was a very inconsistent load as far as SDs go.
I wanted to show you these, Travis. Picked these up last week. So
some Redding, what 30-06, nice.
Almost brand new, $20 at a gun
Really?
shop. Yep, he had a mark 25. I talked the guy down to 20. I'm like, take my money before I regret it.
I don't know. Do you feel good about yourself ripping that guy off?
Just a little bit.
Good.
Well, he had a lot of reloading supplies just marked cheap.
Yeah.
He didn't have
Why
any
didn't you come
primers.
home with more?
Well, I didn't need any of the other stuff. It was powder I don't use.
That's not a word us reloaders. No, we don't need. That's.
Well,
I've been buying. Go ahead.
They had a pound of IMR 4064 that my buddy needs for a load he's testing, but it's in the old metal DuPont cans. So first of all, I don't know how old it is. Second of all, is it truly 4064? So, and he wanted like $17, $18, which if it was a sealed can of the new stuff, I would have paid that all day. But that old,
Yeah,
I don't know.
You had primers if you're willing to spend that kind of money.
Yeah.
What they want, $70?
Yeah.
Well, and honestly, for $1,000.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think that's probably not far off from where we're going to be anyway.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably actually a decent deal now.
Yeah.
I'm expecting primers to be about $80 per thousand.
I'm expecting match primers to be about 105, 110.
But those older containers you're talking about, I got a whole stack of them over there. They're nice to just start picking up for decoration, especially
Mhm.
where you got your new bench and stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna build a on the back there. We were talking kind of before show about this. I'm gonna build a maybe do the T track on the back so I can put little bins there to store stuff in. And I'm debating if I'm gonna do actual cabinets to store stuff in up top. If I can find cheap unfinished cabinets or just put a shelf like you have.
So let's see what others think about this. I think cabinets is a good idea, but I don't like them because they have the doors, and it just seems like things get stacked in there.
They're too
Personally,
deep.
I like a more open. What's the consensus of ye all have to say?
Cabinets are too deep. I mean, they're 12 inches, okay? I mean, they're just too deep, and they always have a lip on them where you can't see what's hiding things. So no, give me. If I was going to do, and what I'm going to be doing with mine is a 1x8 shelf, and with 1x4s as the dividers, and 1x8 gives you it brings you down to almost 7 inches, so it's only a 7-inch deep shelf, and it'll hold a full box of 1,000 either burger bullets or nozzlers, so it's good that way, and you can get um, 500 boxes, 500 count boxes from Sierra without a problem.
Now, Nick, I do like them for underneath the bench, though.
Yeah, I built. I don't know if you saw the photo. I built those one bit underneath bench, basically
A shelf.
shelf. I'm blanking on the name. Shelf there, and I'm not gonna store my ammo or anything there. That's gonna be in a different room, but that's gonna be for like my tumbler,
Mm-hmm.
some of those other things.
Shelves above the bench, cabinets below. I agree with Travis for once. Don't go there, Travis.
Well, I was gonna say I take back the horrible joke I said at the beginning of the show. Then, Jim.
Thank you. You can keep it. Anyway, no, that's I used 1 of 12 shelves in 2 different places, and I put the shelves as high as I can reach. But stuff I don't use very often, like the annealer, it's up high. My scales, it's right there at eye level. But it's hanging on the wall, not on the bench. But again, too, the bench is attached to the wall
It should be.
and the floor.
Yeah, if you can get some cheap or free cabinets, though, Nick, I wouldn't turn them down. I'd grab them for something.
Try Habitat for Humanity
Mm-hmm.
if you have one near you.
We got a massive store here in town, so
There you go.
Question I have on cabinets are the bottoms strong enough for things you put in there? I mean,
No, it just depends.
yeah.
cheap cabinets are going to have maybe half-inch fiberboard or something. Good cabinets will be plywood. It'll be good half-inch plywood, but those are expensive. Nowadays cabinets are like gold.
See, I like the idea of cabinets underneath the bench, though, because I wouldn't mind having stuff hidden underneath there. Like I got a vacuum,
Okay.
like a shop vac set up. That would be kind of nice to have hidden away. Like my bench, I don't feel like my big bench here in front of me. I don't feel like it's complete And if I could find some cabinets, I would probably adapt them underneath there and integrate, like I'm saying, my shop vac, and actually have it ran through the bench where I didn't actually have to pull it out,
Right.
stick the air compressor and stuff in there and route the hoses outside so you don't have to open the drawers up or just shoving random stuff in there underneath the bench. But on top, above the bench, that's kind of where you want to keep all your reloading supplies. I feel like maybe underneath, it wouldn't be bad to put your powder and stuff away out of sight. But everything else I like to have above, right where I'm working, so I can, kind of keep better inventory. And like I said, the shelves that I've seen, I don't, like Paul said, that lip in the front. I've seen where guys get cabinets and just take the doors off and kind of make cool integrated setups in the cabinets, like kind of like how I've got my die. You guys have seen how I have my dies. I got them all little rack kind of built so they're not sitting on top of each other. I've seen stuff like that's pretty cool. So that would be kind of cool to do, Nick. Not have all your dies stacked up on top of each other. Be able to integrate it into a cabinet and have that above your bench.
Well, I'm gonna probably do. I don't know if you've seen on Antline Fabrication's website, they have the piece of metal that holds the Lee 3 or 4 hole turrets.
Yes.
I'm gonna make something similar to that. Is my plan, and have those along the back of the bench is kind of the plan.
Mm-hmm.
Because Dad's got something similar at his place that we built. It's all by 1x4s, and then we took, what size is that PVC?
Yeah,
4-inch, 3-inch, 4-inch PVC. We cut it to about 2-inch high.
It holds that turret.
It holds that turret, so the priming rod doesn't break or anything. It sits it up so it doesn't. You don't have to worry about anything breaking the bottom of the turret.
And then you can label the PVC with what caliber and die set
Yep.
in it. That's nice. That's nice.
Especially like in military, we load 40, almost 40 different calibers.
I got like 50 sets of dies there.
So it's nice to know we need this set of dies. You just go grab that and boom. So
yeah, you're starting off with rebuilding your bench setup, so organization is key, and now is the time to do it.
Yeah, and he gave me his old Lee press, and we were actually talking about this at lunch today. So he has the new version, and he had to redo all his dies, reset them because the press is set up a little differently. I'm probably going to end up selling the old Lee to cheap, either a buddy that wants to get into reloading or somebody that wants it.
You'll be able to sell it.
Oh, absolutely. And I'll probably, it's $150. I'm just going to go buy one just like him.
You're already messing up, Nick. Your dad, he can't mess around with those old dies. He needs to give them to you, and he needs to go buy new dies for his setup.
I live 8 minutes from their house. If I need a set of dies, I'll run to his house, or he can come over like he did tonight. Well, he's probably going to spend a lot. He's jealous at my bench right now.
Yeah, it's twice as big as mine.
So he's going to be spending a ton of time at my place, I'm seeing in the future.
Nah.
I'm like Travis though. I'm sitting there planning out where to put an airline kit in. You've seen those shop kits where they sell you 50 or 60 feet of airline with plug-ins,
snap fittings.
Yeah. I'm looking at that. My vacuum, I have a big shop vac. I am looking at running on the back end of the bench a 1.5 PVC, so I can put the vacuum line all the way around and put a 1.5 screw-in cap on that and be able to just stick the hose in there and clean up when there's.
It's like we talked about.
Yep.
Yeah, having air. My air compressor is one of my most used items down here. It's so handy to have some compressed air.
Yeah.
What kind of compressor you got? A little pancake compressor, Travis?
Yeah, I got the little DeWalt 60 volt cordless.
Wow.
Yeah, yours is a pancake.
I got Pancake Bosch
Bosch.
that I bought my grandpa years ago, and
Bostic.
it's Bostic. What did I
Bostic.
say? Bosch. Bostic. But yeah, he never used it, so when he passed away, I took it because I bought it for him. So it's probably gonna get stayed out in the garage. I think what I'm gonna do, like what Paul said, run the line in and have it come down. And
Here's one for you, Paul.
Yeah. Is this any better?
No,
No.
that one better.
This better?
Yes.
So, yeah, the vacuum, air, T-track, shelving, and bench height. What's your bench height?
Where did we go? I don't remember.
I think we went standard countertop height.
36.
Yeah, I believe.
So
Travis? What do you do, Travis?
I can grab a tape measure, but I was just going to tell John Atkinson. He's asking. He's building the bench right now. I was just going to suggest that he goes back into our library, and we've gone over a series about building benches and all of the ideas that we all had and such.
So I'm trying to find that episode of that one.
I think a lot of some of it's personal preference, whether you like to reload when you're standing or you're sitting.
Yeah, and we went over that in one of those episodes, and we talked about the perfect height so you could either stand or sit.
Episode 356.
356. Good job, Nick.
Yeah. And actually, it depends on what press you have, too, because if you've got a Dillon, I can see where the lower countertop height would help because you got that, what's their mount called? It sits on top of that mount.
The strong mount?
Yeah, it raises everything up another 10, 12 inches.
Or even inline if you do the inline mount.
Yeah, that ain't going to raise up an inch or two.
Depending on which, they have different levels. They have flush.
The hard
part
flush,
with 2, 3, 4, 6.
Yeah.
The hard part with the big Dillons is getting cases into the
hopper,
because you get in the thousands, 1050 or whatever. It's a long way up there if you got a tall bench.
Yeah, my 1050 is sitting actually just right between the rafters. It's sitting just right in between where I can get in there and dump stuff.
So that's about 7 foot up. I mean, I don't know what your ceilings are.
This is a question from John Atkinson's about his bench.
I think we talked about 32 is about
32.
Anywhere between 24 to 32 inches.
Yep.
Yeah, we went 24.
So like John, I'll have some photos coming out here in the next couple weeks or next week, hopefully. I went to Menards. You can go to different places. I did a 23 and 3/4 inch or no, 23 and a half inch.
No, you're
3/4.
23.
Melanite or melamine covered shelf, and then I had set down in between two 2x6s. So I'm about 20.
You have a 2x6 frame.
Yep, 2x6 frame, and so it's about 25 inches, and that's for me. That's going to be plenty. It all depends on how much stuff you're going to have. I look at it too that way.
I think my bench at home is 36 inches deep.
Yeah.
And that back 8, 10, 12 inches just gets cluttered with junk.
You can't get to it. Travis has got a nice setup for his dies, but you're close, so you don't have to have them spread out all over the place. But anything from, and I'm thinking on mine are 24 inches too. 24, 25 inches. Just not enough room. But I will go to one area that will be 32 inches to 36 inches deep because that'll be my brass sorting area. So I put my light grid down, and that way I can sort brass by head stamp or whatever as I reload for it. I like to have a big enough area for that. Casting. How big of a bench for casting, guys? We all stand up to cast. I don't think any of us sit down, right?
Okay.
I do it in my garage because I got to open the garage door and all ventilation. I won't do it in the basement.
Heck, I just melted down a 5-gallon bucket over the weekend and made some ingots.
Well, you didn't do that on your workbench, Travis.
I did that outside.
You bet. Thank you,
That was
Paul.
that was dirty stuff too. It had rubber, it had all kind. It was real smoky.
We know that feeling, Travis. We've done that for range scrap stuff. It can get.
Yeah.
Don't you feel like the very next day after melting all that down, you just feel like I don't want to do anything? That's how it was for us that one day when we did it.
I did it outside, of course, and I would load it up, get it up to temp, scrape everything out, fill it back up with lead, walk away, go around the corner, do something while it smoked away. When it quit smoking, I'd walk back over and scoop off the junk. And of course, I'm watching it. When I say walk around the corner, I'm keeping an eye on it the whole time, but I'm not standing by that smoke.
Here's a question from Bringle Truck. What single press are you guys using precision rifle reloading? Example for bench rest or long distance.
Bringle Trucking, the press that's generally, well, I like my Forster coax. It's a single stage press, but everything is concentric to the axis of the die, and the die even aligns to the concentric to the axis of the case.
Yeah, so I'm using the rock chucker,
right?
But my good buddy Idaho Rogers, quite a while ago, he gave me the Frankfurt Arsenal. I forget what it's called, but it's their version of the Forester coax.
The Impress.
Is that what the
Yep.
coax one they have is?
Yeah.
So I just mounted it up a couple weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, and I've been playing around with it a little bit.
Yeah. We use the rock chucker. I mean, it's just.
Yeah, that's my go-to. That's what I have on the. I got the nicer bench right here. You guys can kind of see my kid's been doing some art projects there, but I got the rock chucker set up down there, and that's my go-to.
The new F1 press, their new single stage from Frankfurt Arsenal actually looks pretty interesting. I don't know if you've seen that one, Travis.
I probably have, but I'd have to go double check.
Well, I've worn out 2 rock chuckers, so I'm on a Summit now.
The Summit that's the RCBS. That's the big.
2-inch ram.
It's got a 2-inch diameter solid steel ram, and it works opposite of most presses, where it actually moves the die down, kind of like the coax will, and it's adjustable. That's the one nice thing about it is everything. I can set it up for concentricity as far as the base, the shell holder, and the arms. So it's a.
But does that mean they're total junk and they just don't meet your specs?
Well, they don't meet my specs right off the bat. I mean, but they also give you a book to tell you that not every die that you get is going to be perfectly concentric.
True.
So you can sit down and say, okay, scoop this a little this way, a little that way. The Forester press has the ability to float a die in there, and which makes it nice. But I think I showed you on one of my one of the shows where I used a Lee 308 die that resized the case without the expander ball in it and had 0 run out. with it. So I can take even a cheap die and adjust it out so it has, a good
Right.
end result. We do have other people that use the mech marksman single stage. Jason's a big user of that. Reading, their presses are extremely tight tolerance. There have been cases that they've talked about where people have put lube on their press and they can't get their handle to move very well because of it is a precision ground rod and hole for the press to actuate, and it becomes out of tolerance with the wrong kind of lube on it. Rock checkers. I mean, I grew up with one. That was my thing, and I've worn two of them out. So it's a lot of reloading, a lot of single.
It's a lot of strokes, no doubt.
Yeah. So, but you have to keep track of it. You have to be able to put a dial caliper on it and see where it is and to keep it in line. But you guys, you can spend anywhere from
Yeah.
$1,200 to $100 and get a good press. Okay. Arbor press. You can go buy an arbor press for $120 and a set of Wilson dies, and you can do really, you can turn out some extremely accurate ammunition.
Is that just Paul that froze, or what? Okay, I want to make sure it wasn't us either.
Hello. We lose everybody there for a minute.
No,
Just
Paul,
me.
can you do me a favor? Move your mic even closer
Okay.
because we're losing you. When you start relaxing, your voice volume goes down.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Yep. So, I'm pacing myself. Yep.
Patrick Logan put up the comment. Paul's pacing himself.
Hey, when you're 2 days older than God, you have to. Okay.
Anyway.
Yeah, $1,200 to $200. It depends what you want to do, guys. You can find good presses for all of that, and then there, you can do, with a 750 or a 650 or even a 550, you can turn out some extremely accurate ammunition with it. Do I trust their powder measures for that? No, but what does it take to take one off, put a funnel on there, and weigh and put the charges in? Not hard. They make the die holders that float, Widden and a few others. So you can. There's a lot of opportunity in that to turn out good ammunition progressively.
Well, I trust your powder measure for handgun ammo. That's for sure.
Okay, but for precision rifle,
No.
okay,
That's my herders and unit flow,
okay,
and I trickle everything.
all right. Okay, arbor press. Paul Logan is an arbor press is a new one. Arbor presses have been around for bench rest shooting for a long time. they've been using hand dies that somewhat like the original Lee self loaders, where you used a hammer to beat things in and beat things out and back and forth. An arbor press makes it all a lot simpler as far as applying pressure to a a case and and die set. And with people like Wilson dies, Ellie Wilson dies, they have sizing dies, bullet seating dies that are just extremely accurate. And you can go to a large match for bench rest or say F class, and you will see guys 20 minutes before they're going to shoot, run all their ammunition through a seating die to get it to exactly what they want, because they don't want the bullet to bind into the case, and by reseating it to the exact depth that they want, it makes a difference. Ball and flake powders, Craig. Stick powders get trickled. Yeah, okay. I mean, I do that with my auto trickler. It does that, so I'm not too worried about it.
Patrick Logan's follow-on comment was he appreciates the education on the arbor, that he uses Dillon Ready and Hornady presses. He's just surprised he hasn't come across Harbor. This is a regional company. No, you can buy your arbor press at Harbor Freight, Patrick. Um, but what Paul's talking about, L.E. Wilson, they're pretty much of a mill or a company, but they are reloading manufacturing, extreme precision.
And an arbor press is a generic name for the type of press. I suggest you go to K&M Reloading and look at their arbor presses. If you really want to go up in price on an arbor press, then go to 21st Century Reloading. They have a arbor press that uses a hydraulic gauge, so to check the force of how much it takes to seat each bullet.
Well, Paul, he's obviously he's familiar with L.E. Wilson because he's made the comment that he has quite a few of their case gauges.
Yeah.
So he knows where to go.
Yep.
Thank you, Mr. Logan. Appreciate it, sir.
So, Spudman 76. Anyone here tried Mighty Armory dies? Travis, off to you.
I've used quite a few of his dies. That's almost a topic for another.
We've
time.
had him on the show. Haven't we had him
Yes.
on the show?
Yes, we have. I've done videos on his decapping dies. Yeah, I would almost rather someone just PM'd me. That's the one comment, Paul, I was hoping you wouldn't pick out.
Okay. Well, here's how about this? I was Spudman. go back in some of our previous discussions, and you will find our previous shows. You will find Mighty Armory and a very in-depth interview with them. So,
Well, what Travis is not trying not to say is we probably did 5 or 6 shows with nothing but Mighty Armory stuff. Travis was the center of attraction for the whole show. I'm not trying to insult Travis because he's very passionate about what he does, and I totally approve of that. Travis believes in Mighty Armory. You're still muted, Travis.
He has a pretty decent decapping die for sure. My preferred decapping dies, though, are FW Arms. FW Arms makes probably the best decapping die, and we've done probably 4, 5, 6 episodes just on FW Arms decapping dies. Also,
We had him on the air too.
Mm-hmm.
we have.
I'm going to be picking one of his decapping dies up here soon. So,
Matter of fact, he sent us all decapping die for tryout.
Yeah. Harold's Precision, yes, they offer an arbor press too. They also offer a lot of other presses that are extremely expensive. You can get a combination of a sizing die, a press that looks like it's a standard, will accept a standard sizing die, and then off on the side is a station for for having the arbor side of it. My Summit press, I unscrew the base and put in a flat base and do the same with the top, and it turns into an arbor press. Just some different ways to go, guys, with different presses. Okay, everybody, primers. We all know what that Paul Loud said that Midway, Powder Valley, and Brownells all had primers, and they're all gone. I know. um, so
So Patrick Logan, on the subject of dies, is availability coming back? 6 months to a year ago, you couldn't get squat in dies. So I've been seeing a lot more showing up at the gun shops, and I'm to the point now where I've been buying stuff that I don't even need, don't have a rifle for. I'm just stocking up on various calibers. So if I'm seeing them out there, I'm getting them.
You know, Travis, that brings up a comment or an idea for a show.
Yes,
And
what
that
is
is about flashy firearms in the SHTF scenario. But that's actually a good show for Phil Rabelais. You know, flashy eyes and, like race guns and stuff like that. But that's kind of not a reloading issue.
well, on that topic, I know, like Travis said, you're seeing a lot of stuff. I was on Titan Reloading about a week ago, and they had 577 450 Martini Henry dies. And I talked to the gentleman there at Titan 6 months ago. He said it'd be over a year to 2 years before he thought he'd see those dies. So if they're making those dies, they must be caught back up on a lot of other things.
That's good.
If they have those dies, which there aren't very many people that need those dies out there.
That's not the high priority.
Absolutely. So.
Well, that's probably all they'll make for the next 5 years. 5 sets.
Yeah.
Well, open
Yeah.
up Titan.
Let's see what Titan's got. Let's go Titan real quick.
is availability coming back? Yes and no. It depends upon the caliber, the type of diet that you're looking for. the seems to be more and more the micrometer dies are coming back
Randall
because
specialty. Go back.
people are looking for precision reloading, and
Well, as
but
far as Hornady goes, I've been seeing Hornady dies more and more on the shelf, and I don't have any of these calibers, but I just picked up 6.5 Creedmoor, the 6 Arc, 7mm 08. I feel like there's one more I picked up not too long ago, but Hornady wise, I've been seeing more of those hitting the shelves. I haven't seen a lot of RCBS and others on the shelves, but
RCBS has seemed to be missing, and especially in their precision dies. Forrester has been doing good as far as it goes. Reading hit or miss as far as their
yeah,
precision.
I,
So
I've been super happy with the price is really good on the Hornady dies. $30, you can get the micrometer. That you have to buy
the
that
set,
separately, but you can get that micrometer to go with your die set. I really like that they have a guide bushing, for seating your projectiles.
mm-hmm.
Right now, like I said, I've got Reading dies. I've got all kinds of dies over there, but I've been getting more and more Hornady dies lately.
Yeah, the Hornady makes a good die. Um,
I'm not saying they're the best, but I've been more than pleased with them so far.
I have a set of Durachrome 30 Harriet dies that were made by Hornady uh, back in oh, I don't know, yeah, 80s, yeah, and they still reload 30 Harriet without a problem. So um, Dylan Dylan presses are coming out without a problem. Everybody, even Dylan admits they pretty much have them all in stock. Uh, some of their dies are, yes, they are out of stock. Um, but I've never looked at Dylan for precision dies. Um, Even they were, when they first came out with their dies, they were selling Reading for their precision dies. Um, I do like Foster's or Foresters, excuse me. They have a very nice service. If you take 3 of your fired cases, send them off, they will hone a sizing die specifically for your chamber. So, and it's not an expensive service, and it
See what the hell stuff.
makes a good accurate die set. Plus, their bushing sets are dynamite. Um, as far as a shoulder bump bushing set, and not a full length resize bushing set. I think you only have to bump the shoulder back, as in my opinion. So, um, I could not get a set of Forester dies in 6XC at the time, and I ended up spending $260 on a set of uh, Reading dies. Um, so it sometimes, yeah, the it's hard to swallow stuff like that. Uh, I don't know if it's Reading is 100% precision. Um, other there, if you're really looking for precision, the Foresters, when they grind a die specifically for your gun, you can't get much better than that. The only way you can do better than that is if you're having a gunsmith make up a barrel for you and have him take and cut the resizing die at the same time. That way you have a custom sizing die to go with that gun. And if he's a good gunsmith, he can turn one extremely true.
I got a quick question for you, Travis. On the Frankfurt Arsenal universal seating die, it comes with those 3 stems. Does it use any other branded stems? Would fit in it by chance?
That's a good question. I can grab it for you, but if you look at them, the stems are fairly long,
Mm-hmm.
and if you took out, say, one out of your Hornady dies, it's about yay long, and the Frankfurt is about yay long. So I've been hoping that Frankfurt would come out with their own, different stems, but they have not yet. So if anyone, not so to answer your question, not that I know of, but if anybody else knows of any, definitely let us know.
You kind of talked about that with the hot glue trick, didn't you? Making it. I thought you guys did talk about that once.
Jim showed us that way back in the day. Another nice way of doing it too, like the hot glue guns. I do that all the time, honestly. But you could also take JB Weld and and in fact, now that I think about it, Johnny's reloading bench.
Yep, that just popped in my head too. That video.
I don't remember if it was that a new one or an older one.
I think it was just the other day he did a video on that.
Okay, so I forget what he used as a release compound on his projectile, but you can take and shove the stem with JB Weld and put your projectile in there. You want to have some kind of releasing compound on the projectile itself so you don't break the JB Weld when you twist out your projectile. But that way you can make a precise seating stem for your projectile. The hot glue works really, really well, but it also has more give to it. So
the JB Weld, if you use something like Hornady One Shot or the old
some
trick
lanolin.
that we hit, the old trick that we used was Johnson and Johnson paste wax. Okay.
Would lanolin work, Paul?
Sure.
I'm gonna have to try that.
Anything that that won't let a form a bond. That's all.
Yeah, probably Brownell's form release would work too.
Yeah.
Well, that's what it's meant for, and but we use I don't know how many M1As that we bedded because they were had to be rebedded after a while. We use Johnson paste wax. I mean, you were just doing it so often that you buy a 2-pound tub of it and coat the thing and then set it in after you rerouted out the action.
So Paul Loud, you may have just found a good use for A-locks.
Travis, answer your question. I've got it highlighted. Been there.
So Patrick Logan, he says, Travis, has the primer shortage and other reloading shortages slowed down your competitive shooting in the last year? I continue to shoot, but am always thinking about component inventory to replace. So the answer for me has been no. I kind of gave up on filming and posting my shooting videos because I was not getting very many people watching them as I felt I should have been getting for such awesome content and awesome videos. So if you haven't seen me posting any 3-gun videos, that's why. I have not given
I
up.
watched everything you posted there, Travis.
I greatly appreciate it, Paul. If you could just do that maybe 600 more times per video, I would start putting them back up.
All right.
So I have videos I have not edited, not posted because of that reason. But yeah, I have not given up on shooting. I shoot just about every week. And it is now to the point where I am more of a fair weathered shooter. So I did not go to last Saturday's shoot because it was super windy and rainy.
And now
So
you got
once it starts snowing, I might have one or two more in me, but yes, I do. That's my big problem is I felt like I had enough components to use this year, and my goal was to replace those. The biggest problem has been the primers. I've not had a huge issue getting powder and projectiles, but it is the primers.
Now I found difficulty with powder and bullets.
Yeah, well, I did stock up on powder
Mm-hmm.
before this, so I am on my last 8-pound jug of my preferred Shooter's World match rifle for my 223, and then I'll have to kind of. I've been thinking about, like I said, I wanted to actually go out after cleaning my AR. I wanted to go out, see where my groups were again, and I've been thinking about trying some different powders that I've used in the past, and kind of working up some new load developments and seeing if maybe I wanted to go a different route with powder. Like I said, I've got a shelf over there that's just jam packed with powders and yeah. So for me, powders, I haven't gone into a gun shop and been able to see the powders that I want for the price that I want. When I do find the powders that I use and want, I'm not paying $50 a pound. And that's what some of my local gun shops feel like they can charge, and I'm not going to do that. So, but the primers has been the biggest. That's the one I'm going to have to eventually break down, and whatever the price is, the price is.
I agree. I mean, I'm having a hard time with powders, and
Yeah, for
some of
you
the
though, you're different because you're looking for. I'm going to guess you're looking for a specific powder.
right.
You do not want to vary from that. That's what you have to have. That's what your rifle likes. And the problem is everybody else likes that powder too. So it's a in demand powder. H1000, Retumbo, Varget, those are always been pretty
40,
good.
4350. Yeah. One of my powders is going out. They've stopped producing it. IMR 4320. People don't, what? Huh? What's that? Well, it 22250. It just loved it. It was a great powder in 6XC for the lighter bullets, and all of a sudden I'm sitting there going, it's gone. And not, look at XBR 8082 and all those powders. We just can't get. They can't make it fast enough for us. And I'm thinking of going to Vitavori and start
Yeah.
playing with that.
Yeah, like I said, I've been buying stuff when it's been available, and I've got probably 4 pounds of Vitavori, and I mean it's a great powder. It used to be when prices were normal, it was the high end, more expensive powder. But guess what? Now they're all high end, expensive powders.
Right. Yeah. So why not?
Yeah. So Jim, I think we should get together and actually plan one out, an episode where we kind of go over not so much. I think I like your idea of maybe reloading or purchasing, stocking up on components that we don't even have like rifles or pistols for, but maybe our friends and family do. And kind of going down the preparing for future maybe endeavors.
Barter items. You know, so you could help somebody out, and they're going to help you out. That sort of thing. You know.
Right. So my buddy, he's his daughter, he bought her a 7mm 08, and he was been talking how he can't find the store bought ammo that he wants for it. So when I was at the store, I found dies, I found some 7mm projectiles. I didn't have him give me any money for them, but I purchased them. My thought is my goal also for myself is I want to have enough dies and projectiles and components that if someone came to me and said, "Hey, I'd like to start reloading for this or that," I've got all that on my shelf. We don't need to go looking for stuff. I can say I've got that on my shelf. I feel like some of my stuff I have more than most local gun shops, at least now for sure, on my shelf now.
The only suggestion I have for you, Travis, is make a note and keep it with, if nothing else, put a price tag on the bottle or the container or the package or the box, and just buy, have them pay you what you put into it. If you want to, maybe if you hold on to it for a couple of years, maybe add 10% just for a stocking fee or something like that. But whatever, whatever you think is fair, at least get your money back. That nobody can call you a hoarder or a gouger if you're willing to help somebody out like that. Like for the 7mm 08, that's a great idea.
Yeah, I felt like for the most part, I'm just gonna do it because I'm a swell guy, Jim.
No conceit in your family, Travis. You took it all. Yeah, this is a guy that just said he quit putting up supplemental podcasts on YouTube because he wasn't getting any viewing. Come
Well,
on,
when you
Travis. You remember we're in a niche. We're in a niche broadcasting area. We're reloaders, and reloaders are not average shooters. Reloaders, we are definitely a beast way the hell out there.
right, but you gotta look at it this way: shooting videos are different. We can sit here and talk and post this, no problem. For me, I gotta take stuff out, have people video me, set stuff up, come home, edit video, post it up, and when you're still getting a couple
you need a
hundred
cameraman.
views,
You need a videographer is what you need.
say
You
I
got to
always,
put one on. You spend some of that big hard-earned money you're spending all the time, and pay a videographer.
I've not had any issues with that at the shoots. In fact, I was hoping at some point I was going to buy a drone and get real fancy with the videos and stuff, but
Ooh,
it went. I was waiting to see if the views would go up. And here's the funny thing: there's one 3-gun video, and on the thumbnail is a image of one of our female shooters. And guess what? Out of all the 3-gun shooting videos, which one had the most views?
hers.
Definitely.
Clickbait.
Yeah. So I've been
Definitely.
running tests for us, our channel, to see what we can do to get our viewers skip up, and that's the weird thing, Jim. You've been doing this a lot longer than I have. It's hard getting new viewers, and that's what I've been hoping to get with reviews and different videos and such. But we've got, you and I did a good example, exact same topic. You posted a video of your annealies.
Yep.
Okay, the exact same time I posted one on my Annie induction annealer.
Mm-hmm.
So your views, and it's the same topic. This is where it gets weird for me. It's the same topic. People should be interested in both of them equally. Your video got about 300-400 views. my video got about 10,000 views.
Okay.
Why? These are things that I've been trying to figure out. Is where are we at in this reloading world?
You're a flashy guy, Travis. That's
But
all there is to it.
it's not, because we'll get other videos I'll do that I think are pretty sweet, and we'll get 300-400 views on those, and then some other ones we'll get a couple thousand on theirs. I'm trying to figure out the rhyme or reason that
Great one.
some of you viewers and listeners want from us. You've been making it very difficult. So just like I
Anyway.
tell my wife, where you want to go eat, just tell me. Just let us know what kind of videos and such you guys want, and we'll try to cater to you.
Definitely. I mean, we want to present things that you want to learn about without you having to spend your money. So give us a suggestion. I mean, that's the biggest thing we have. I got Zeke on here, and he said he's going any special considerations using CCI military primers. He managed to score 1,000 each of number 41 and 34. And
Well, here's something. So my good buddy Idaho Rogers. For me, it depends on how you're using them, but for me, my press, the Dillon 1050, it did not like feeding those primers into my cases for some reason. The machine just had a hard time with them. So Idaho, he single stage reloads. We were able to switch 1,000 for 1,000 or whatever it was, and so that's the only issue I have seen or had. Other than that, I don't see any special considerations. What do you say, Nick and Ray?
We would see them a little every so often. We just never really used them. We always would run regular primers.
I know a lot of people actually prefer those.
Yeah, I've never really jumped on that for those.
Yeah, with a floating firing pin, that's probably what those are mainly recommend. A little harder for a floating firing pin. But if you seat your primer deep enough, I've never had a problem with standard primers.
And if I remember, I think Johnny did a video where he compared those, the 5.5 or the 223 5.56 ones versus standard primers, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, we can go down a whole nother rabbit hole
We
with
could,
primers and cup thicknesses, and
I thought that was the big difference in these. The cup thickness was.
You're 100. I'm pretty sure you're 100% correct on that. That's one of the main reasons they use those in. They say military semi-autos, floating firing pins.
If I'm reloading 308 for my M1As, they get 34s. If I'm reloading match ammunition for, they can get any of it, but then the primer pockets get reamed out deeper, and they get reamed out to 4,000 to 5,000 below the case head, so don't have a chance of a primer strike with a floating firing pin. I don't know. I mean, people have said that they've had problems with 5.56, 223 in ARs and with floating firing pins. I haven't seen one personally, but I've heard it. There's people have posted pictures of it and everything else. I always have questions on it, but 41s are a little hotter. They're like the 450 Magnums. That's how I would treat them. And make sure you got a good firing pin spring in there, or a good hammer. That's the only thing that I would say. Light hammer strikes or light firing pin strikes will give you, with hard primers, will give you problems. So that's the only thing that I could leave that with as far as a reloading issue.
Get air.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to see if anybody's got anything in here. Wooden dies, they good. Yeah, wooden dies are good. You're going to spend a good amount of money on them. Their seating die is aluminum? Question mark. But other than that, hey, um, you know, I don't like the veneer caliper part of their seating die. It's a little tight as far as your lineup between your thousandths and ten thousandths of an inch in your seating. The nice thing about it is they give you lots of room to play with as far as your bullet nose to be able to protect it with a shot of JB Weld or Marine Tex. So that is one good thing that they do have. I have a set of their bullet pointing dies. They're good, but they're limited to on some of the the bullets that they can point. And then you have to turn to them to have them make up something special for you. So what else, guys? Anything else new?
No.
No. We didn't start with what did we do in shooting this week and reloading. You want to start, Nick? Ray?
Well, I covered most of my stuff. I got my Frankfurt Arsenal Intel dropper. Been working on the bench all weekend actually. Got that pretty tied up. Got some other things to do on that. Picked up that ammo made in Australia. Picked those dies up last weekend, and just worked, sold guns.
Yeah. My work year is starting to taper down, so my reloading will pick up. I do probably 75 to 80% of my reloadings, between Thanksgiving and middle of January is when I do most of my reloading. So it's
just
I'll
in time for the end of football season.
Yeah, just kind of, work's tapered down. I can get down there and spend hours and hours and hours and don't have to worry about it and get caught up.
Travis.
Well, so I cleaned a 5-gallon bucket of 223 brass with the Frankfurt Arsenal. What's the the Frankfurt Arsenal rotary tumbler.
Mm-hmm.
Got all my brass clean, shiny, looks like brand new. It's a nice feeling to have beautiful, clean brass. So I do that before I process it, so it keeps my dies nice and clean. So I did a 5-gallon bucket of that. I loaded up a whole bunch of 9mm. I loaded up a whole bunch of 300 blackout, 120 grain projectiles from Acura Outdoors. I also got my package from Frankfurt Arsenal. Like I mentioned, I melted down a 5-gallon bucket of lead and got all the ingots outside, ready to, like you, Ray. I do all my casting about this time when it's cold, and I'm thinking I'm going to start casting my 9mm projectiles again and just stocking up on as many of those as I possibly can. Say, kind of just been playing around with the Frankfurt Arsenal Empress. Yeah, sure there's more, but that's about it I can think of.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, I haven't done a whole lot of anything, but I am planning on getting that 22 back out on the range, with and without the suppressor.
I don't
You got,
make.
pic- you got pictures of the bore yet with your bore scope on that?
No, with the bore scope, or you mean with
Yeah.
pictures with the suppressor itself?
No, with the bore scope. So you going in and showing us what it looks like after you cleaned it and
Oh, I
and-
haven't cleaned this.
yeah.
I haven't cleaned the suppressor yet.
Okay.
But it's interesting. I did notice at 50 yards quite an impact drop and a impact shift from about 3 inches, 4 inches center to center, low and left.
Okay.
Welcome back, Michael. Anyway, I was planning on doing that, and I still got the targets hanging up on my target tree or my portable target stand, but I intend to take and chronograph some of the
Backyard.
stuff.
In his backyard.
No, not my
Practicing.
backyard. No, not my backyard. I live in a neighborhood.
Tree stops all 22s.
Mikey,
That's
did you do anything in Guns Reloading this week, bud?
I said that before I left.
We didn't get to us, and I was my thing
Yeah.
is I got the electric as far as inside the building all taken care of. Still waiting for my guy to come out the trench so I can run the 220 to the building, but it's all set, ready to go. We got 80 feet of inch and a quarter PVC pipe ready, and two 90 sweeps, and 100 foot of number 4 cable. So I'm ready to pull wires and get things going there. I ordered the mini split, so I'll be having heat and AC in that room. And one of my daughters ordered me a new chair for reloading.
Nice.
And yeah. So and Vanessa Kitty, you mentioned that you get different size chairs. If you look at a adjustable drafting chair, they are usually very comfortable, and you have a large adjustment in height of the chair. So it will go well with the 36-inch or higher, and it will also go down low enough so you can reload at a 30-inch bench. So just some ideas there. Paul Loud has got ladder loads for 5 different powders for my son's 223. Oh, wow. Post the results, sir.
Anyway, Mike, you want to sign us off?
Well, I was going to talk about just remember when you're looking for equipment, whether it's firearms stuff or reloading stuff or safety and cleaning stuff, swing over to Primary Arms, check them out. Where'd that go? They have a SPR giveaway there right now. They're doing it too. So or if you want even firearms. So, and they do have a VIP club. Crap, there's one thing I got to check. We have a discount code. That's right. We have a discount code for primary arms. I gotta find it. Where'd it go? There we go. All right. So, right now it's a coupon code. It's code FRN, and you get a free mount with any primary arms optic. So if you buy a primary arms branded optic, you get a free mount with it.
Nice.
So that's cool. I'll get that added into the show notes and stuff. So, but yeah, swinging over there, check them out. Definitely check out if you're looking to get into training without getting into training. Check out Mantis, and I don't say that just because they sent me the Laser Academy to try for free. I actually have the 10X or X10 or whatever it is, and I played with the X3 before, and it's amazing. It really does make a difference. You don't have to. It's going to help you improve your shooting without actually shooting. So, and it does translate. I've talked to many a person that's actually played with them, and it does translate to your actual range time. With the Laser Academy, there's a bunch of different calibers you can get. If you get the X10, not only can you use it on your regular firearm, but you can use the X10 on a shotgun and on a bow. So just things to keep in mind. So if you're looking to get some dry firing practice to help you, and why is dry firing practice important, Paul?
Well, it keeps you sharp. I mean, you can't shoot enough. Okay, there's
Right.
no way. The trigger control, your breathing, everything else that goes into it. Dry fire is some of the cheapest way to improve your shooting ability, as long as you're doing it right. And and that's why this Mantis is good, because it shows you the results of your dry fire.
Yeah.
Because without the feedback, you can develop some bad habits. As far as pulling too much on the trigger, or pushing down on the trigger. Developing a good trigger stroke is important, and it will help you get to that point.
My favorite thing about the Laser Academy is you actually get the laser insert and you're actually using it with your firearm. The only drawback is you do have to re-rack every time, but it's a small price. If anything, it gives you tap rack experience. So,
well, if you look at it for draw from a holster,
right?
Okay, I don't know about everybody out there, but unless you're like at a range that Travis can go to, Nick and Ray, I'll bet you can't find a place where you can draw from a holster that's close to you.
Yeah, I can.
Okay.
Wait, I have a range that we shoot a lot of USPSA matches at, and I can go on the bays and draw from a holster, do malfunction checks, clears, all that stuff.
Right.
But a lot of people in Chicago, especially.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
There are some places that, depending on the range, they have like little tests you can take to prove that you are able to do it. But that's some ranges. Not all ranges allow that.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, gang.
You can develop good practice that way.
Yeah.
So, all right.
So thanks everybody for joining us. Make sure you give likes if you're watching the YouTube or the Facebook live feed. Chris Sharp is going to start helping me do some editing. And so we're going to get some podcasts up. I'm going to throw a couple up. A couple of them I'm going to do basic. I've got the basic editing done. It's just going to be quick, dirty editing. And I'm going to put a disclaimer at the front of them to get them up. But then Chris is going to help do some editing so we can get the rest of them back up and get caught back up.
Where is he? He hiding?
I think his ass belongs to his wife tonight.
Oh, okay.
If I remember correctly.
Okay.
So, but yeah, so that's going to be a big, huge help and get caught back up so the poor audio people can get caught back up. But that's kind of all for now. So on that note, keep your brass shiny.
Not a matter of if, but when.
Jump on the Millsap short bus.
Teach them to reload when they're young.
Despite what your mama told you, Grandpa said violence does solve problems.
I agree with Grandpa. But anyway, support the Second Amendment, guys. Do what you can. Do what you can. Do what you can. Join the GOA. Join the NRA. Join Second Amendment Foundation. Whatever it takes. Support the Second Amendment.
And just remember, if you're struggling, there's help out there. Don't end it. And I can't find the number right now. Dang it. But it's a suicide hotline. 1-800. For crying out loud. Dang it. Hang on a second. Got to get my Google flu out. I had it on show notes and I opened the wrong show notes. So. All right. 1-800-273-8255. 1-800-273-8255. If you're struggling, even if it's not a big struggle, give them a call. So thanks, Paul Loud. He put it in the notes too. So thanks, everybody. And good night.
Good night.
See ya.